Guys, I think I found it. I think I found the spot. All right, that looks super awesome. I hope the camera doesn't go off. I'm on 44th Street in Manhattan, and we're going to do a live stream driving back to the Bronx. Right now, I'm in my seat, easy entry. I touch the brake, and I put it in drive, and it goes to my position with my account. All right. I'm going to back up here before putting it into full self-driving. We have to click this button in order to go into full self-driving. And I think I'll get in the lane here first. I feel like maybe it's not such a good idea to try it downtown here. But it seems to respond well when we have all the lines and the cars around for distance and stuff. So we might be surprised. Let's see how it goes. All right, now I hope that this stream is being shown the right direction. I hope it's not like sideways. All right, I just turned on the full self-drive and I thought it was on. You know it's on when you see the blue line. All right, how are you, everybody? Happy New Year's. It's January 4th. I got a different mount for the camera. I think it's doing a good job. It's nighttime and doesn't seem to be shaking too much. I turned the camera the other direction now, and it looks pretty good. It's got the steering wheel, the screen, and a good panoramic view. All right, you see, so you break the full self-driving by turning the wheel. I turn it on by clicking down here on the paddle, the right side paddle, and you guys will see in a minute. We'll see how this goes. Sometimes it reacts exactly the way I want, and sometimes it kind of has a funny start. Let's see. All right. I bet you it acts pretty funny with all these people. All right, not a great start. I mean, we are in the heart of the city. Sometimes we need to get going a little bit, though. Supposed to be. I turn back on the full self-driving. You can see my hands. My hands, I always keep them on the wheel. Tesla says to make sure that you're holding the wheel, that you're the one in control. Full self-driving seems to go where it's supposed to, but if you have any, see, that was not where it's supposed to go. Not a great start. Not a great start in the city. I could wait till we get back, but we're going to give it another try. All right, we're behind a truck right now. He's got his hazards on. That was probably because of that car that was parking. You can see we have a speed limit of 25 miles an hour. That's everywhere in the city. But I get to set the max. So if I spin this wheel fast, I can lower it by 5. You can see we're steering around this person with the open door. And it tucked in the mirrors to make sure we didn't hit anybody there. All right. You can hear the radios outside. New York City, there's a lot of people out. It's a Wednesday, and it's 11 o'clock at night. There's a lot of people out though. I'm actually kind of surprised. I guess I'm not surprised. It's a city that never sleeps. All right, so the full self-driving's engaged. The light just turned green, and we're heading for The Henry Hudson Parkway. Let's see, what's taking it so long? Why do I feel like you need some direction, Tesla? All right, there's a person over here. Let's see if it slows down for her. All right, a little bit. All right, there's no lines on the street here, so it started to make its own lane. It's pretty cool when it does that. Usually, once it kind of gets into a good drive, it starts to do well. Every once in a while, it starts off a little shaky. I have to say, I'm not a fan of that, but unless I mean, except for me doing a video, I probably wouldn't turn it on until I got to the highway. But I find it really interesting on how it's acting and what I notice different each time I drive after the updates. You can see anything that's kind of a pylon turns into a cone. It can tell that there are some garbage cans over here. All these pylons are cones. So, I mean, it responds really well by knowing what to stay away from. Looks like we're waiting for the person in front of us. I'm going to give it a little power right here because there's an ambulance coming. All right. I took my foot off the accelerator. And you can tell when we have that blue line, we're in full self-driving mode. Going around a double parked car there. You can see how it slows down. All right, I have to say, driving around in full self-driving, it's definitely not relaxing when you're trying to make a video to show how it works. But when I get on the highway, my wrists, they definitely feel a lot more relaxed. I can kind of let down a little bit of the stress in my arms, and I feel the steering, so I kind of just let my arms kind of go with it. I like to keep my foot over the brake in case I want to turn off full self-driving. But in certain situations, when you're driving forward, it's good to have your foot on the pedal in case you need to push through something. So it looks like we're just going to miss the light over here. But you'll see the light turns yellow, turns red. All right, so this is interesting. I've noticed on the maps, this gray intersection here, this is where it likes to check out if it has a good visual. So if we come across this and there's some cars parked blocking our vision, it turns this section blue and it goes into autopilot creep mode. And it creeps along nice and easy, a few inches at a time, till it gets a good visual, and then it makes it across the street. I don't think that's going to happen here, but that's what I've noticed these gray areas are wherever I go. So right now, none of them are blue. We probably won't creep. She'll probably just take on this light when it turns green. Now my foot's not on the brake. It's right on, it's just about touching it. And I have my hands at 10 and 2. And basically the whole time I feel the wheel turn. And sometimes I let it kind of slide through my hands, like when you come out of a turn. But it hasn't really changed the way I drive. All right. It's bringing us to the right side over here. We're going to make a right-hand turn over here at I guess you could call it the Joe DiMaggio Parkway, but it's really the Henry Hudson Parkway. I mean, at least that's the way I grew up with it. All right, and there's traffic here, so it's going to inch on over here. We're in that gray section. You can see a little bit of the blue right here that it wants to use to creep. See autopilot creeping forward. And from inner lane to inner lane change. That's the way I expected that to go. And now we're going to get a little bit more into the drive. And now we're on the parkway and we're going down towards the Bronx. We're traveling northbound. We're down here at West 46th Street, in case anybody knows where that is in New York City, along the Hudson River. And I mean, this is just awesome to me. I can't believe on what it picks up. It can tell that this car to the left of me is a little bit in front of me, and the car 2 lanes over, it clearly sees is a little bit behind him, or even a little bit behind me. It doesn't recognize the car in the 4th lane. I mean, we'll see if it picks up on that when we drive. It seems like it does over here. Excellent. All right. So it says 30 miles an hour. The speed limit sign is 30 miles an hour. I think it'd be nice if I would go over into the lane to the left, but it's just chugging along in the right lane over here, getting close to the highway. It should want to take the left lane on its own, but I see it's pretty clear. So I'm gonna hit the left blinker down, and that's basically giving it permission to go into this left lane. And how smooth was that? I mean, I really do like that. It gives me time to check my blind spots without flinching or double checking too many times. I can easily look at the camera, and while the car starts to take its maneuver, it even helps to see that there's no cars around me on this screen. All right, so we're just entering the beginning of the highway from the parkway, and the speed limit should get ready to change here. Stopping for traffic control in 100 feet. See that red line down there? That's not the first time that that's done that there. I think it would have stopped traffic control. All right, so this says speed limit 35. I can fix it, but you know what? Let's see what happens right here. I see a speed limit sign right in front of us. It should recognize the speed limit sign and start picking up some speed. There we go, 50 miles an hour. So, I mean, in my opinion, if Tesla wants full self-driving to go all vision, I think part of the EV incentive plan should be to repaint the streets of major cities and highways, make sure that the correct signage is at the beginning, the middle, and the end. It saw that was a little too tight car, so it slowed down and gave it a second try. But that was perfect before interrupting with the people. I mean, when you're in full self-driving, you really got to be paying attention, because you might think that it wants to stay in that lane, but if you look at the screen, it's asking to change lanes, and you just have to be the one to give it confirmation sometimes. And sometimes it doesn't ask for confirmation. I'm not really sure if it's, not sure when it asks, or if it's like rolling dice, because there's been a few times that it asks and it doesn't need to ask, and there's been a few times it doesn't ask, and I'm like, there's some cars around. I'm surprised you didn't ask. But you'll see all the lines are painted on the highways correctly. The car really performs well when we're in these situations. Once I get into my neighborhood, it seems to drive the streets great, but it wants to hog the middle of the lane, and it doesn't really know. It doesn't have as many rules. So when there's less rules to follow, it's a little bit more relaxed. And if we're going to do full self-driving, I'm all down for it being strict as all heck. I mean, you should only be able to pass people when you're on the left of them. You should be courteous and move out of the way of people when they're going faster than you in the left lane. There's a lot of things that the car should be taken on as in, not just as in driving rules, but also driving etiquette. I think that that's major, and it'll get there. Now, this is a 2023. I don't have the sensors on the bumper, the front or the back. They took LiDAR off a couple years ago. At the moment, I don't think that my car parks or does summon feature. I haven't seen it pop back up, but that's fine. That's because we're gone all vision, and all of the cameras have gone from 1 megapixel up to 5 megapixel cameras. So that's a big deal for me, because if this is going to be about the future and it's going to be about vision, I want the best cameras possible. This way they can see the furthest distance and be able to handle all of the computing that goes into um, full self-driving. We're 15 minutes through our drive. It looks like we're just passing 125th Street here at Lower Manhattan. We're on the Henry Hudson Parkway. The speed limit's 50 miles an hour. I have it set to a max of 50 miles an hour. We're in the middle lane, and this is when full self-driving shines. I have to say, this is really relaxing. I work an outdoor job, and I have a lot of machinery in my hands, and over the years, I've started to get a little bit of tendonitis in my left wrist, a little bit of tennis elbow. I've hyperflexed sometimes. So sometimes I find myself going from one side of the lane to the other side of the lane because my wrist gets a little tired. And I have to say, with the Tesla moves over a little bit, or it beeps and warns you, or it highlights the car in red. Sometimes it tells you brake. But so far, all of these features seem to be pretty safe. I like knowing that this is the future. I like knowing that it can only get better from here. Screen, you can see that that's a pickup truck over here. I don't know why, but when you touch the screen, sometimes this whole thing spins. It goes all out of whack. You can move it 1 mile an hour at a time. If you watch, I'll move it up a mile an hour, up a mile an hour, because I have somebody in front of me. If I move it down fast, it goes by 5. So it's going to go down to 50. It'll go down to 45. And you'll see the car slow down right now to 45. Probably not bad. I did that now anyway. It looks like we're coming up to a little bit of traffic. I can put on the blinker. Let's see if it takes on this lane here. Nope, it sees a person behind me, doesn't want to slow down. So the Tesla came back into my own lane. I like that. I think that that's pretty awesome. All right, it should really start slowing down now. Everybody up here is really not moving at all. Isn't that unforgiving? Wednesday night traffic, New York City, 11:30 at night. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? All the people coming home from work? No, that can't be it. Oh, and that's one of my favorite things when you're in full self-driving and those windshield wipers think that it's raining. You can't turn them off because full self-driving has the windshield wipers on automatic. Kind of a negative. You don't want to mess up your wiper blades. But I can't turn them off right now if I wanted to. I mean, I could. I have to take us out of full self-driving. And you can see right here, it's on automatic. So if I go to put it on 2, it's going to go back to automatic. Let's see, maybe it stayed. Oh, it stayed on 2. Let's see if it goes on off. Nope, it's off. It doesn't want to go to. Can we put it on 1 instead of auto? Maybe it'll like really slow down. And then let's go back to auto and see if they stop. It's kind of funny. Whenever you want to show off something, it always has to do something to make you look silly. Let's put a little, oh, you know what? You know what? Now I really feel silly. It just started to drizzle. Now, how did the Tesla know that? Because I didn't see any raindrops on my window when they first started. Isn't that something? All right. So this whole time I haven't had my foot on the pedal or the brake. I mean, we're just chugging along over here. It's really helpful to have this feature while in traffic, because I have to say, I would not fall asleep, especially when I don't trust that the vehicle will crash into somebody. But in slow moving traffic, it feels a lot safer than driving 50 miles an hour. As silly as that sounds. All right, the windshield wiper fluid is on the left side paddle. I could push in the button. Let's did I run out of fluid? Interesting. Maybe because it's an automatic. Let's see. I can't actually do voice commands because I have the live feed on, and the live feed is going through the Tesla, so it uses the microphone. All right, I just scrolled up. I reset my max speed for 50 miles an hour. Oh, well, go figure. We're in a 45. It's reading 50. Let's see if it reads that sign. Yes, it did. See, I love that. So it read the sign. It's asking me for confirmation to switch lanes. We got a person behind us. It's going to let them go. Now, this is one of my favorite places to drive on the Henry Hudson Parkway. We come into a couple of nice heavy turns. Kind of feels like you're playing a crazy taxi. Know how old I am after I said we're on the Dreamcast. And we have our nice little S-bend coming up here. And you'll see the car maneuver this pretty much like a pro every time. This is not an area that I've ever seen it mess up on. I'm a little early. A couple of the turns are we just went through aren't the major one. The major one's right over here in front of us. We're in a speed limit 45, max 45. Most of the time everybody does about 55, 60 here. But it's raining out. We got full self-driving. And let's see how it takes these turns. This is great. I love this. It feels safe also. It's very sturdy. The wheel feels solid. It's not jerking me around. That's fantastic. I'm going to get my Easy Pass out. I still need to switch over to the EV Easy Pass. I haven't updated it. I got new license plates coming in, so I'll update it when the plates come in because it asks for the new plates of the vehicle on the Easy Pass. But I'm excited for that because that means the tolls are going to be a lot cheaper. At least my understanding is that I'll get an EV Easy Pass. Now, Easy Pass is the pass we use for the tolls in New York. In Florida, it's Sunshine Pass. I'm not sure what other states use different names, but if you guys want, post in the chat. What do you guys use for the tolls in your state? What's it called? In New York, it's called Easy Pass. In New Jersey also. I think it's the tri-state. This might say New York, New Jersey. All right, so it's starting to drizzle a little more. The windshield wipers aren't automatic. You notice that they go off at a different rate depending on how wet the windshield gets. And it is getting foggy. We're right by the Hudson River. It's just off to my left. All right, here goes the speed limit sign 40. I like to see that changes each time we pass it. See, that time it didn't register. Now, I actually don't think that stays 40. Let's see. Here goes another speed limit sign 40. So far, I'm not correct because there's a second sign. All right, it's staying at 45. I can lower it to 40 myself, although I don't think that it's necessary. But on this trip, we're going to follow the rules. We're going to drive safe and make sure we get home in one piece. All right, this drive has been 25 minutes. We started in New York City. I had to take over about 2 times right away within the first 2 minutes of driving. But after that, it's been pretty much smooth sailing. I think it's been about 18 minutes. I haven't had to, maybe 20 minutes. I haven't had to intervene at all. All right, speed limit sign over here is 50 miles an hour. I'd really like it to pick that up on here. I'm going to move it up to 50 miles an hour if it doesn't. There we go, 50 miles an hour, and I have to move my max up because I had it at max 40. That's up to me. And it's raining out here, so it's a little slick. We have a couple hot shots that don't care about driving in the rain. All right. So everybody, that's interesting right there. I had to power through that. I didn't disengage the full self-driving, but there's a stop sign over there where you get on the highway, and every time the car goes to stop, not full stop, but it goes to slow down on the highway as we come up to it. Now, earlier going into the city, there was a stop sign even closer to me, right on the wall that was on the side of my lane, and it did not go to stop. So something about this one and the height that it really is a little confused. While I'm on the highway, Tesla full self-driving, you should know that there are no stop signs on highways. All right, so we're coming to a pretty tight turn that we have to slow down to for a great deal. The car has been really good for this. Here we go. We're entering the exit. It's slowed down all the way down to 14 miles an hour. There we go. We're going to come to a full stop. And creeping forward. It wants to make sure that it's okay over here. Let's see. All right, the car is... Now, this is not the first time that that's happened. Coming off of the highway over there, the car doesn't see any speed limit signs and wants to stay at 55 miles an hour. Now, if we made the right-hand turn, there's a speed limit sign and it fixes itself. But this has been the second time that it's actually decided to make the left, which is actually the way I'd rather go. And it didn't unclick out of 55 miles an hour off the highway. I mean, this is why you sign the waiver, you click the button saying that it's okay, you understand. You got to have your foot on that brake. I don't understand how somebody could fall asleep in a Tesla as it gets off the highway. If there's just one stop sign not there, I mean, this thing is going to be swinging around the curves at 55 miles an hour. It's definitely not cool. So I didn't want to deal with those speed bumps with the full self-driving. Usually it's pretty good, but I really just wanted to like have less interventions at the moment. We got full self-driving back on. It saw the speed limit sign. It saw the speed limit's 25 miles an hour. Yeah, I mean, it has some stuff to figure out. It has to know when you're not on the highway anymore. It clearly took the exit. We got off the exit. It came to a complete stop at a stop sign, and there's a chance it thought that it could go 50 miles an hour again. I mean, it's not perfect. That's why I'm here behind the steering wheel, showing you guys what to expect if you get full self-driving in your Tesla. You should watch this because the first couple times, a few things took me by surprise, and now I'm definitely ready. All right, we're on the side streets over here. We're in the Bronx. I got a car coming towards me. See, you'll see the Tesla comes to a pretty decent stop. Lets them make the move. Otherwise, the Tesla just wants to inch it up because there's no lines dividing the lanes here. So there's a car all the way down there. Let's see if the Tesla wants to go across. That's fine with me. We could have made the left. We could go straight. All right, let's see if we come to that stop again, or are we... Yep, that's much better. That's much better. And look, now the car is making the lines. to divide the road up, which allows it to feel more comfortable when passing oncoming traffic. Autopilot creeping forward, checking for visibility. I love that I could see that there was a person walking right behind me. I never would know that. They're on the sidewalk behind a car. I don't need to know that, but it's nice to know that there are people closer to you than you would imagine. All right. Getting ready to make the left-hand turn here. Coming to a complete stop at the stop sign. 1 mile an hour. A little bit of a California roll. Ooh, there's a big raccoon over here. Let's see if it stops for the raccoon. That would be crazy. No, it didn't come out from under the car. Thank goodness. I had my foot hovering the brake just in case. All right. And this is the last stop of the night. We're just down the block. And you can see, I mean, I don't do that often. There's no reason to do that. You guys can clearly see the wheel turning in my hands. But so that you guys actually know. It's kind of different when you're seeing it. There goes a double parked car we went around. Here goes another double parked car. Let's see if we go around this one, because that's pretty much where we're going to come to a stop. Yeah. Let's see if the car wants to pull over here. We're at our destination. I'm going to give it a little bit of gas, power through, and I'm just going to go up the block. I just wanted to get here. Oh, look at this. No, it's time to turn off full self-driving. I'll touch the brake there. When I went to power through, it thinks that I just want to go around the block in a circle. All right, everybody. That was a long live stream. That was 32 minutes, 33 minutes. I think that view is the best view. I think that I'll continue doing these live streams, and I'll try to go to different places in New York where it's a lot more crowded than the West Coast. The highways are a lot more narrow, and driving conditions are just a little bit different. I take off my seatbelt. You can see the seat goes back into easy entry. And I have to say, at my age, that's all I really want is a little easy entry. So thanks a lot, everybody. I hope you guys leave a comment, give me a thumbs up, maybe subscribe, and I'll continue doing these drives and try to get better at it. Take care, everybody. Peace out.